Now let's move to the next question over here. As we can see, how towns are changing, okay, by spreading into the countrysides. Okay, let's take an example of some of the towns that we already live in. Okay, for example, we live in Tripoli, right? Tripoli is a huge city, and it's considered as a town. Okay, so if you look at the changes that happen around us, you can see that Tripoli is spreading into its countrysides. Okay, for example, a few years ago, Janzur was far from, for example, Washafana and the other countrysides about it. But now you can see that Janzur is already linking or being one part with the other countrysides of it. So Tripoli is considered as a large settlement. You can call it a town. It's changing by spreading into the countrysides about it. So all the countrysides around Tripoli are being part of Tripoli. It means this is a change. Okay, that change on Tripoli is making it larger and larger. So when you are asked about anybody how towns are being changed or are changing, you can say that by spreading into the countryside. Okay. Next will be, what does market towns mean? Okay, by going back to this question, the origins of towns, one of the origins of towns, or the types of origins of towns, are market towns. Okay. In this question, we just had only the points, like please mention the 5 origins of towns. These are the 5 origins of towns. Now let's get to know to each one of them. Okay, this question is asking you about, what does market towns mean? Okay, you can easily guess the meaning by the name of the origin. What does market towns mean? Okay, towns begin as places where people came to sell their crops and animals. Okay, some towns had started by the meeting of some people from different places. They came to sell their crops and animals, for example. Okay, that was like hundreds or even thousands of years ago. Okay, they gather at one place, they sell things to each others, then they figure out that they should stay in the place where they work, right? For example, the place that they sell things over there, so that place is getting famous. By getting famous, people will be coming from different places, from other different places. So the more people will come, the more settlement we will have, and the larger that settlement will become, then towns will be created. So that's one of the ways how towns can originally begin. All right, now let's take a look at the upcoming question, which is, what does crossing points town mean? Okay, towns grew up around bridges or places where routes came together. Okay, crossing points, for example, between Morocco and Spain. Okay, the sea area between both countries is not really big. Okay, and people can cross from Spain to Morocco, and that point is considered as crossing point, right? So on the edges of the two countries, you can find two beaches, right? the Spanish beach, and also the Moroccan beach. Okay, those two coasts will be a great place for people to live in. So crossing points between two countries are always a place to be targeted as a town to be created there. So it started by a group of people crossing from a country to another. Then that place became very attracting for these groups of people to live there. Why? Because so many people are crossing between the two countries, so that will make the trade, you know, trading, right? We've already talked about in history, right? So that will make the trade movement is getting more and more. So that will make it very beneficial for them. They will get money, so they will have great opportunity to make their lives better. Let's move to factory towns. Okay. We talked about that in the class so many times, and let's get our memories refreshed about it. Towns were created for people. Towns were created for people who worked in factories or mines. For example, by going to the deserts, okay? By going to the desert, we can see so many fields that companies or people are doing mining over there, right? They get they dig for the oil. They do mining in some, for example, mountains, and they work in the field of, for example, petroleum industry. So that make it for them hard to come back to their cities or towns from time to another. So they will have places to live near to where they work, right? For example, we have a few examples here in Libya. You can check Al Brega. We have so many different cultures in there. In Brega, we have a factory there for oil, and also Ras Lanuf as well. Ras Lanuf and Brega, Zawiya. These places are considered as factories, okay, or industrial places, industrial areas. So many people from different towns and villages are staying there to work. Are they originally from there? No, but they live where they work, right? So in Ras Lanuf, there were places built for the workers to stay near to where they work. You can ask your parents about Al Brega and Al Zawiya and Ras Lanuf as well. These places are built for the workers to stay where they work. Okay, so as a beginning, by giving them shelters or places where they work, towns started to grow. Okay, different people came to bowl around these people, and the generations were following until they became large towns. Okay. Next will be, what does port towns mean? Towns built around harbors. Harbors were ships and boats barking, okay? Harbors where ships can load and unload their cargoes, okay? The ports, okay? Because, you know, sea is a very great gate for countries to trade, right? Let's talk about hundreds of years ago. People used to live next to the harbors. Why? Because it's going to be easier for them to work. It's going to be easier for them to travel. It's going to be easier for them to get the products and the goods from other countries or other nations and send the things or the goods they want to export. So it's going to be easier for them to trade and to meet new people. What does seaside towns, seaside resorts or seaside towns mean? Resorts were built for people who wanted to go to the seaside. Okay, for example, I'm sure that all of you guys have heard about, for example, Regatta or Palm City or Janzur tourism city or any other similar resort. Resorts are always meant to target people who already, for example, have houses, but they want to be on the seaside. Okay, if you want to live on the seaside, on the coast, you can live in the cities that we already built by the origin of seaside or sea resorts. Okay, we target these people because they want to have that special feeling of living on the coast or living on the seaside. Okay, so towns are built to target these people who want to live on the seaside. So if you want to live on the seaside, you need to look for a place that meant as it is. Okay. Next question will be, please mention the 6 things which keep a modern town working. Modern town living is not similar than regular towns. Okay, the modern living of a town is you should have sustainable, means uncuttable. Okay, sustainable water, food sources, power supply, sending messages, and transport, waste disposal are all features or things that keep the modern life in a town going on. All right. What are the 3 types of farms? Sheep farms, dairy farms, and crop farms.